We're going to do something a little different today. I want to have a look at one of my fellow attorneys reviewing a video by Lawbymike.
Behind me are 5 former criminals, ranging from a credit card thief to a criminal on the FBI's most wanted list. I'm spending the next 24 hours with them to uncover their methods so that you know exactly what to look out for. To begin, I'm meeting a professional pickpocket who spent years perfecting his craft in the busiest cities in America. His name is James R. Hustle, and he used to make a living by stealing from people in plain sight. Today, he's going to show us exactly how pickpockets choose their targets and what...
So just to be clear, the fun part in the very beginning there, where we're blurring out the faces of these individuals, was completely pointless because then we introduced him and showed his face. But okay, anyway, it's fun. I like the concept of it. We're going to hang out with some criminals. I mean, I'm a criminal defense attorney, so I just call that Tuesday, but cool, let's see what they have to say.
Living by stealing from people in plain sight. Today, he's going to show us exactly how pickpockets choose their targets and what you should look out for. So James, you spent years pickpocketing in cities like this. What makes people an easy target?
People not paying attention, people distracted, looking on the phone a lot. Like that guy over there at the free taco sample. He's over there having a conversation with the taco lady. You know, I could easily probably get him.
So that's an interesting point. Something that I learned when I was going to the Corrections Academy, and really before that, anybody that carries a concealed firearm has probably considered this before. But at the academy, they told us, okay, when you live life, you live in either green, yellow, or red alert, right? In other words, green is just like, I'm cool. It's like hanging out with your friends and family, whatever you're doing, you're totally fine, right? Yellow, most people say, oh, I'm on yellow alert, like if I'm in a high crime area, or like if I was working at the prison, people would say, yeah, you're on yellow alert. For me and a lot of other people, it's actually, you're on yellow alert when you walk out the front door. So, and that's essentially what this guy is saying, is he's going, yeah, you're an easy target if you're not at least on condition yellow, right? You're at least not a little alert, looking around, wondering if anybody's trying to pickpocket me right then. Really good advice, I think. Red alert, it's like, yeah, I'm ready to fight. That, my class sergeant, who was a really smart guy and retired from the Department of Corrections after a long career, you know, he said, yeah, you walk into the front door of the prison, you should be on red alert. You should be just ready to go at any second. You're constantly surrounded by, you know, violent criminals, depending on the yard that you were on. I was on a lower level yard for part of the time and on a very high level yard for part of the time. So depending on the type of yard you might have worked on, you might have just had to be straight up high alert the whole time. Although I know that there are people that would argue even on the low level yard, high alert the whole time. Anyway, that's the point he's making here. I think it's an excellent point.
So how do you get close without raising suspicion?
That's the hard part. You know, most people don't expect someone to get in their personal space unless it's an aggressive manner. You know, pickpocketing, it's a subtle art form. It's not aggressive, it's not in your face. You don't see it coming. You know, it could be a tap.
It's a subtle art form, I might add. So he's a criminal, and he's a former criminal, right? Reformed, and he's trying to help people and trying to tell them how to avoid getting pickpocket, and yet he's just called it an art form. Just pointing that out.
All right, so he went into the store over there. I think he's got his target. Now he's pretending to look at some magnets. He's standing next to this guy in this green pants. Oh, he just reached in with his hand behind his back. He just took the phone. He just took the phone. He just got it.
I'm gonna go give it back to him?
Yeah, give it back to him. Oh,
pay attention.
That's crazy. Let's find.
Okay, am I the only one that suspects that that guy was a plant? Because the minute you took the phone, you've actually committed a crime. You've committed a theft, right? Yeah, our theft statute in Arizona does say that you have to take the property with the intent to permanently deprive them of it, and giving it back does suggest that he did not intend to permanently deprive him of the property. But at the same time, if a cop had actually seen him take it, or had just approached him with the phone in his hand, he'd have no defense whatsoever. I think that guy was a plant, but doesn't matter, okay? He's doing a demonstration. Thank you for your demonstration.
All right, let's go see what you got. He's over at the skate park right now, looking like he's watching the skaters, but I think he's got a target over here. Looks like he's walking up to someone right now. He's right behind someone who's holding a kid.
Hey, excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah?
I was looking for this smoke shop right here, but I couldn't figure out where it was. I was looking everywhere, but the GPS isn't working.
He's asking her for directions, maybe. So I think I just saw him take it. I saw him, oh, he just took it, he took it. She's literally still helping him with directions. She has no idea, no way. Oh my gosh.
It's a nice one, it's got a little crack on it.
That's crazy. All right, you gotta give that back.
Oh yeah, I'll go give it back. Hey, excuse me, did you drop this?
All right, Mike, You're pretty good on camera, man. You're better than I am. I'm going to admit that. And you got a much bigger following. Good job, okay? That's great. Good for you. That was bad acting. Clearly, he already knew he was going to give it back, and you were just saying that for the scripting of it, okay? Okay. But anyway.
And what made you want to turn your life around?
My daughter. Full custody of my daughter when she was 2 months old. So at that point, I couldn't allow myself to be taken away from her. Cut everything out, cold turkey, started from scratch.
What were the 2 techniques that we...
Good for you, man. Look, I as I said earlier, I'm a criminal defense attorney. I work with people who commit crimes all the time. I don't work with a ton of repeat offenders. In fact, I probably can count on my hands how many people have come back to me more than once. I've worked with a few people 2 times, and I think only 1 3 times. Okay, good for you. Okay, I have seen how difficult it is once people start down that road to actually turn their life completely around and walk away from it. And now he's actually trying to do some good with it, right? He's actually out there saying, look, this is how people get you, and trying to help prevent it. Good for you, man.
I just saw you demonstrate.
Well, the 2 main techniques with pickpocketing is the brush up or the bump. When you bump into an unsuspected person, and it's almost like a sleight of hand. You bump and grab at the same exact time. And then there's also the distraction, where you can have someone distracting for you, or you can use something that's already happening as a distraction.
And that's when you were asking someone for directions, you were distracting them.
Exactly. You got to think on your feet.
Well, what are some
But at the same time, he did just sort of give an instruction manual for people that might want to take up this art. So, maybe a little bit too much. That Breaking Bad did not give an actual recipe for meth on the show. Thinking right here, maybe we gave a little bit too many instructions on how to pickpocket well. But anyway.
tips for people to prevent getting pickpocketed?
The number one is just pay attention to your surroundings. Always kind of be aware of what's going on. I think I do personally, when I'm walking, I'm constantly touching my wallet, because I'm paranoid of someone doing it to me, because I know how easily it can be done.
The next former criminal made his living breaking into houses, choosing his victims, walking through their front doors, and taking whatever he wanted. Most burglaries don't happen at night. They happen in broad daylight, while you're at work, while the kids are at school, and while the house looks empty. And for years, Mario Ponce was the guy walking through that door. Mario, you started breaking into homes as a teenager. What made someone's house an easy target?
Well, it's easier than people think. You see that house over there? Piled up newspaper, mailbox overflown, no car in the driveway for a couple of days. It's an open invitation.
So once you picked a house like this one,
it's interesting that these criminals are all pointing out what they notice about a person, about things that we're not looking for because we don't necessarily have a criminal mind. But as soon as they point it out, you start to become aware of that and go, oh man, my neighbor's newspapers are piling up. They told me they were going on vacation. You go pick up their newspapers, you're doing them a favor because they're not a target anymore for somebody like this. So it's good. Be aware, of yourself, your surroundings. Be aware for your neighbors, your neighborhood. Those are all good things. Those are all things that can help prevent things like this. So,
how'd you actually get inside?
Well, first of all, you don't want to look so suspicious. So what I wear is a construction vest. Come on.
How does this vest help you?
Well, it makes you look more, natural, Maybe.
I used to do door-to-door sales before I went to law school. And to not look like a salesman, I wore an orange construction vest. And people would open up the door for me every frickin' time. They would open the door, hey, what's going on? Thinking that I needed to tell them, hey, we're about to shut your gas off for a little while or something like that. Nope, I was there to sell them pest control. It is fascinating how something like that can completely disarm people and sort of throw them off of their mental game or whatever is going on. You look out the door, you see a polo shirt and khaki shorts, salesman, right? But you look out the door and you see an orange vest. No, that guy's cool. He's just out here for the power company or something.
You can say hi to the neighbors, you see them. Okay, so you see these windows? I could easily open them with my hands, but you don't want to make it too obvious. So let's go around to the back, man. Usually they keep the doors open on the sides. Come on.
All right.
I like these old-style houses. They're easier to break in. Everything's made out of wood. Remember, you don't want to leave any fingerprints. Come on. Okay, it's locked. Let's go check around the side. Usually people don't lock their side doors. All right, go ahead and try it. Wait. Remember, you gotta have the gloves on.
Oh, yeah.
I was just testing you, man. Oh, it's locked. But check this out, look what I got.
Is that credit card?
Yeah.
Wow, you did that so easily.
Easy money, come on.
I'm embarrassed to admit that I did learn how to card a door at church. Sorry, society. I don't know what else to say about that, but it is actually that easy. So have your bolt lock done, because that door that he's working on right there, the bottom lock is facing out, the curved part is facing out, and you can easily push the little latch with a credit card because that curved part is facing out. The bolt lock, you can't do that. Lock your dadgum bolt lock.
Inside, the goal is to figure out where a burglar might target first. Understanding their thought process could help you protect your home. What other things do you look for to get inside?
Usually houses like this have a basement. You could check that. If not, your last resort is to go through the upstairs window, and those ones are always open.
Wow. So where's the first place you'd head to?
Kitchen. Usually they keep a spare key there. Come on. You know, usually people keep their key in a drawer here, and there it goes.
Now, why are you looking for a key?
You know, just in case I want to come back. You know, they have a lot of nice stuff here, and I definitely want to be a continuing visitor, you know? You see anything you like?
No, man, I don't do the robbing.
You know what I mean? They got good taste in a lot of...
I love that he's trying to pretend like they don't know, no, we don't know whose house this is. We just walked in here. Look, Law-by-Mike here, he didn't just commit a felony, okay? He's not committing a criminal trespass. They set this up. This is somebody's house that they know. They know that they're coming here, and they told him, yeah, we're going to come break into your house. Try to lock it up and everything, but don't make it too hard for us, okay? Clearly. Because otherwise, Mike here is going to lose his law license because he just committed a felony with this guy. They just said, yeah, we're here to take stuff. So breaking and entering the dwelling house of another, it used to be under common law that you had to do it at night, but with the intent to commit a felony therein. They removed at night. Most modern statutes left the other 5 factors of burglary. So breaking and entering, they opened the door, they entered the house, dwelling house of another. This isn't their house theoretically. With the intent to commit a felony therein is the fact that they want to steal something on the inside. So they would be committing burglary right now. They're not doing it on camera. They're not. So clearly it's somebody's house that they know.
When you hacked into the bank, what were you able to see?
That's the thing. It's like once the system's compromised, it's like I'm literally just like the user who's logged onto the system. I can see anything that's on that system, anything that's on that network. I can look through clients' records. I can see their debt. I can see their transaction history.
You could see how much debt people had? I've actually been getting a lot of messages from my viewers about debt lately. Medical bills, credit cards, personal loans. That's why I'm happy PDS Debt is this video sponsor, because they actually help people get in control of their finances. Did they just let you go?
That was good sponsorship integration. I gotta give it to him. That was really freaking good. But doing it smooth like that instead of just, I want to thank the sponsor at the very beginning of the video, which is total crap. But why on earth would the bank know the debt of the individual? I mean, the debt that's held with that bank. Sure, if you have a credit card that's with Chase and your bank account is with Chase, sure. But he's talking about medical debt and things like that. Why on earth would a bank know what your medical debt is? I mean, maybe they check your credit, maybe they've got a record of it, but an ongoing record? I don't know. That would be news to me, but it's possible.
Wow. All right, let's see what happens.
No one's touching the keyboard, nothing up our sleeve.
What? Look, it just opened something. Oh man, it's like typing all this stuff on here. If I let you charge those hearing aids, you can take the data from my computer?
I can take all the data from your computer. I can take your identity. I will have all your stored passwords. I will have all your surfing history. And while you're still on the machine, I can still control it without you even realizing. I can find the information just on your social medias to like be able to call the bank, give them the password reset questions that you probably have, change my voice, change the story, and make them actually reset passwords. I have done that over the phone.
So basically, you can ruin someone's life because they decided to plug in a single charging cord.
So my question here for this guy, and I hope they're going to get around to it, is what makes a good mark for somebody like this, right? I mean, the guy that's just a pickpocket is just saying, I'm looking for people not paying attention. I'm just going to reach into their pocket and steal whatever they have. How does this guy know that breaking into a computer is even going to be worth it? I mean, is he just looking for the guy in the most expensive suit, the guy that rolled up in the Ferrari? Like, it'll be interesting to actually find out what he's looking for.
Number one thing is don't plug into things into your computer that you're not aware of, that you didn't buy, you don't know. And another thing that you can do is like multi-factor is amazing. It's like password managers are amazing, but attackers are also now finding ways to bypass that with the human element by spamming multi-factor authentications until someone gets tired and says accept when they shouldn't. So it's all about the person being aware and just not being in a hurry and just doing it without thinking.
Slow down, think about it.
Yes.
All right, Jason, thank you so much for breaking this all down and bringing all this equipment.
Thank you for having me. I really love the opportunity to educate people almost as much as I love robbing people. So thank you.
We've seen how criminals steal from your computer. Now we're...
Does Mike have a last name? I'm sure he does. I don't know. Sorry, Mike. Mike is your last name. Lawby is your first name for now. Sorry.
Meet Zane, a guy who made his living skimming credit cards and quietly swiping financial info from thousands of people without ever getting caught. Since he's managed to stay under the radar, he's asked us to blur his face to keep him anonymous. But today he's here to show us exactly how it all goes down, and more importantly, how you can protect yourself.
If you ever been to a gas station or ATM, one of these has probably been sitting on top. Okay, well, we could go inside and I'll show you how it works. I normally target low-income gas stations whose clerks aren't really aware of what's going on.
What time of day do you
So common theme, aren't really aware, not aware, not aware, aren't paying attention. So hopefully the lesson learned here, pay attention.
The craziest thing probably was Disney. I did that for my son's birthday. I bought his flight, his hotel, and everything we did in the park was basically free.
Did you ever think about the people whose money you're spending?
Sometimes I feel bad, but I mean, it's a part of the game. So it's like, do I care? I do. But it happens to everybody. It happened to me.
Wait, you got scammed? You didn't check to see if there was a skimmer on there?
My food stamp card got scammed for $300.
On a similar thing, a machine just like that?
Wait. Did that guy just say he's on food stamps too? Like he's scamming from everybody, but apparently scamming is just not a very good business because, people say crime doesn't pay. Apparently crime doesn't pay taxes. You don't report the income. So I guess that's an incomplete thought. I never thought about that. He's not reporting income, so he can get food stamps too. And then his food stamps card got scammed. Wow.
A similar thing.
So why don't you do it anymore?
I don't do it anymore because I have a kid now. I want to elevate my kid to be a better person than I was.
That's a great reason. Now that you're on the other side of it, what should people do to avoid falling for this scam?
I would say mostly try to use cash. Your card information literally can get anywhere, even at ATM.
Is he on the other side of it? Everything he just said was in present tense. Sometimes I feel bad. Like in the present tense, saying, things are still happening.
Sometimes I feel bad.
Like, I hope he's past it. I hope he has turned his life around and made a change and everything. But I happen to notice that. If we go back a few seconds, you'll see. He said, yeah, sometimes I feel bad. Present tense, still doing things. Anyway, all right.
Are there any tips for people to find out if a skimmer is on the machine?
You could feel around it to see if there's anything clipped on it. And there's another way is if you put your card in and then if you wiggle it, the top of it would wiggle with it because it's a little bigger.
When you scan your phone on it, does that work?
Not really.
It has to actually be inserted.
Inserted, yeah.
So that's another big tip for people. Do the tap cards if you have one. What about credit versus debit?
I would say use credit more because debit, your money is going to be automatically gone. Credit, it got strong security on it.
Zane, I appreciate you sharing this info. It's not easy admitting to the damage we cause, but your insight may save someone from becoming the next victim. We've seen how criminals take from our wallets, our homes, our computers, and even our accounts. But this next man, he was on the FBI's most wanted list. Hey, Matthew. All right, let's get straight to it. How does someone steal a house on paper?
It's actually very easy. You can find out anything you want. If you have someone's address, you go to public records. It's available to everybody. I can find out your name, when you bought the house, how much you bought the house for.
Okay, so yeah, I thought everybody knew this, but so my other area of practice, I talk about criminal defense a lot, but I actually do estate planning. If you go, I've got YouTube videos on it too. In estate planning, frequently we have to transfer a house to a trust, and it is freaky how easy it is to find people's deeds and everything online. Their deed of trust, the deed of trust is the mortgage, right? So I can find out how much did they actually have to borrow. But yeah, finding their deed on there and then essentially forging a notary, which is the way that people are stealing houses these days. Unfortunately, not very hard, and then people don't know about it until the damage has been done. There's good companies out there. None of them are sponsoring me right now, but there's good companies out there that are, title lock companies and things like that. You should look into one of them because, yeah, it is crazy, freaky, easy to be able to find deeds and things like that and alter them.
Step 2, I would create a survey and I would go out and I would survey homeless people. I would ask for their name, date of birth, social security number, enough information for me to then order their birth certificate, social security card. I can then take a fake identity or synthetic identity, anybody I want. And what I can do is I can create a title to that house in that person's name. I then record it. It takes the name of the person that owns the house and it puts it in the new person's name. I can satisfy any mortgages by creating additional fake documents. So now I own the house. Step 3, I could put that house on the market. I could sell that house. I could refinance that house. It's not nearly as difficult as it should be.
What type of tools would you use to pull off this scam?
Let me show you. So we got driver's licenses. Obviously, you need passports. Also, you would need credit cards. The other thing is I would have burner phones so that if the bank needed to verify employment or that they had money in the bank or anything along those lines, I could grab the phone and it would have a little information sheet and I would know this phone goes to the bank. I would pick it up and act like I was from their employer.
All right, so how did you get caught?
Dateline NBC News was coming out with a special on me, and I knew that was about to happen. So I decided to go to Australia. And what happened was I was having people that I knew cash checks for me so that I could get a couple $1 million as quickly as possible in cash. My girlfriend at the time confided in one of her girlfriends, and that girlfriend called the Secret Service, and for a $10,000 reward, she turned me in. They watched my house for 3 days, and one day I showed up and they jumped out of the cars and get on the ground.
Why did you go to a Western country that extradites? I mean, look, I'm not trying to help people be better criminals, but seriously, Australia? Like, I thought he was going to say, yeah, I went to Cuba, you know, somewhere that it might not extradite, one of the South American countries, one of the African countries that might not extradite to the U.S. He went to Australia, like one of our biggest allies, and people that you just call them up, be like, yeah, you got one of our criminals. Oh, we'll send him home. Okay.
I don't have an overwhelming amount of guilt that I should have just because I have antisocial disorder, just like most criminals do. I don't have an overwhelming amount of guilt in that aspect. What I have guilt for is I lost the opportunity to have a relationship with my son. I was not there for my parents in their elder years.
But now you're on the other side of it, and you say that people still fall for this scam all the time today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's easier to do now than it was 10, 20 years ago. The only way to really stop this scam is to monitor your title.
That's what he just said is absolutely 100% true. So while I was still in undergrad, before I even went to law school, I was doing a property law class, and they had us go to our county recorders and they said, you're going to have to search. And I can't even remember the name of this registry that they had. It was like owner-buyer registry, something, grantee-grantor registry, something like that. The reason I can't remember the name of it is it didn't exist by the time I graduated law school. But they sent me to the county recorders and said, yeah, you got to do a chain of title. Pick a property and do a chain of title on it and turn in the chain of title. That's your assignment. Okay. I went to Maricopa County Recorders. I live in Maricopa County down in Phoenix, Arizona. Went in there and they said, yeah, we don't have that. And I contacted my professor, said they don't have that. He said, no, everybody has that. It's a mistake. I went back and they said, no, we don't have it. We are the first fully digital county recorders in the United States. Tell your professor it doesn't exist here. So it was only that long ago that things were actually done in person, you know, by hand. You had to literally put this new title in this file cabinet, giant file cabinet to show, okay, it went from Bob to Dave to Jill to show who the owners of this property were.
Come on, baby, what's the name? And I know we threw out his name!
Now it's 100% online. If you give me your address, I can find the deed to the house. I can know who owns that house like that. So that's what he's talking about here, why it's easier now.
They will notify you of any changes to your title.
So if someone's watching this or their family owns property, Matthew, I appreciate you coming by and sharing your insight. Hopefully this protects someone from becoming a victim. If you want to see more videos like this,
if you want to see more videos of Law by Mike doing this motion over and over again, subscribe to Law by Mike. I know, I'm teasing. I know I've got habits where I do the same motions and things like that over and over, but his is just so apparent to me. That was actually a really entertaining video. I don't know if I would call it law. I mean, it was more like criminal avoidance, something along those lines. But I like Stuff by Mike. Stuff by Mike is a great channel. It doesn't necessarily have to be law. Stuff by Mike is a lot of fun to watch. So anyway, thank you, Stuff by Mike. It was fun reviewing your video. We'll see you guys next time. Sorry, hang on. Cut this part. Don't put this in the video. Someone asked if I'm a lawyer? Yeah, I'm a lawyer. I'm a licensed attorney at Arizona and New Mexico. Very important. The kids are trying to go to Taekwondo, and apparently I had their bags in the expedition. Okay, so that's what was so important for my wife to get a hold of me during the video shoot. Okay, going back. Here we go. Hi, wife.
Hi, Parky.
Everybody say hi to wife. We're live on YouTube. You want to say hi?
You're live?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. Here.